With the 22nd pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Omarion Hampton! The following is brought to you by Bleacher Report. If you guys want to check out my live post-game reaction show, make sure to have the Bleacher Report app downloaded and ready to fire up right after the game. You'll find me in the Chargers section. Bolt up. Yo to Bull fam. It's the director. I told you. I told all y'all what I wanted the Chargers to do. I declared my guy of the draft, Omarion Hampton, running back, North Carolina. One of the most impressive athletes in this draft in terms of well-roundedness, man. He's going to give you everything you're looking for from the position. The speed, the strength, the agility, the pass-catching ability, the blocking. This is as a football player I could have provided in this draft. And the reason I'm going to make my rounds. Social media, here on Bleacher Report, everywhere, man. I'll be making my rounds in terms of I told you so's, man. You guys remember that huge mock draft that we did a few days, or it's just like a week ago now, a week ago today, with all 32 content creators representing each team. In that mock draft, I selected Omarion Hampton. And to the credit of my fellow peers and content creators, everyone thought it was a really good pick, but maybe not the consensus want and need for all Chargers fans, all NFL fans in terms of fit and value and all the kind of, things that go along with taking a pick that maybe wasn't the highest on your board, this board, whatever. But at the end of the day, man, there's a mentality that we went into this draft with that I think is very important, that whether it had been Omarion Hampton, whether it had been Kenneth Grant or another player that ended up getting taken a lot further, up than we had anticipated, the mentality for a large part of the Chargers fandom was, let's sit back and see what happens, because last year was such a big success. Joe Ortiz hit on Joe Alt. He hit on Ladd McConkey. He hit on Cam Hart and Tarheeb Still. The success rate was really, really high in 2024. And so the thought of let's put our feet up, see what happens, let the mystery unfold, was kind of the mentality I went into it with. And a lot of my Chargers fans, followers and peers, we're all kind of thinking the same thing. Like, let's see what happens. I think no matter what, I think a lot of us are going to be happy. And I'm going to tell you what right now. If the reaction in my stream was anything in terms of representing the Chargers fandom's reaction, it's pure excitement. It was a rush. It was... I'm trying to convey all of these out while it's still fresh in my mind, because honestly, I'm in disbelief. I'm in shock that this actually happened. It's different talking about it and theorizing about it and declaring him my guy and saying, this is one of my favorite players in the draft. Here's the kind of impact he's going to have on this team. He's as well, tailored to what the Chargers are trying to do as any players I've seen in this class. And for it to actually happen blows my mind. And I felt the same way last year when we got Ladd McConkey. He was another one of my guys. We're 2 for 2. And the staticness is off the charts for me. You guys are seeing, I've been partying and cheering and dancing and celebrating with Chargers fans the last 3 or 4 hours. We're bringing the remnants into Bleacher Report today. I'm burnt out, but the joy could not be more genuine, more real, because I guess it's time to lay out some of the reasons why I was such a big Omarion Hampton fan going into this draft season. Now, first, off the top, let's go ahead and say yes, the Chargers probably could have gotten a good value at running back in the second or third round that would have been a high-impact player. And that is because this running back class is exceptional. I've been saying in my YouTube channel and my content that I think the position of running back is going to be defined by this class in the next 2 or 3 years. The 2025 running back class is so deep, so talented, that it really is going to define offenses in the further 2 or 3 years. Even as soon as this year for some exceptional talents like Ashton Jeanty, who did go to the Raiders, and yes, Omarion Hampton, who is now a Los Angeles Charger. This is one of the best running back classes I've ever seen, and the Chargers got one of the very best players at one of the best positions in the draft, and that is significant. Let me follow up by saying, Ashton Jeanty, One of the best players we've ever seen at the running back position. He did steal a bit of limelight, and for good reason. That is a fantastic talent at running back. A lot of people compared him to that of LaDainian Tomlinson, if you'll believe it. And as a Chargers fan, it was hard to deny it. His contact balance, his speed, his big playability, all very reminiscent of the big guy. But had he not been in this class, and Omarion Hampton ended up being RB1 in this draft class, I promise you, the hype would not have eluded this man as much as it did. Because weirdly enough, I do think Omarion Hampton did not receive the credit he deserved, the hype, excitement that he deserved, because this was the year of the Ashton Genty. Telling you right now, he is going to be a force on the Chargers. As soon as this year, he's going to become the face of the franchise, one of them on offense with Justin Herbert. As soon as next year, when the torch is passed to him as RB1, and he's going to be a big reason why this football team wins games. Take a look at what he did last year in North Carolina. 281 carries, 1,660 yards. Unbelievable. 1,660 yards. You can tack another 319 yards receiving. 373 yards receiving. To that number. Rounding out to a, 2,000-yard season. Total yardage, with how many touchdowns did we end up seeing? It was 15 plus 2, so 17 total touchdowns. Unbelievable. And the biggest outlier I think that helps his case as an individual talent is that North Carolina wasn't the best run blocking team in college football, not by a mile, man. They had some things that they had to work. Their offense, I would say, in particular, was a bit of a struggle bus the last few seasons. But they were able to succeed, and especially this year without Drake May in North Carolina. Like, it really was a different year, and they really had to lean in on the talent of Omarion Hampton, the consistency of his success, and that is what brought them any shred of success on offense. The 2,000 scrimmage yards, the 17 touchdowns, these came through the effort of Omarion Hampton. Teams weren't backing off too much at a quarterback threat, a wide receiver threat. They weren't backing off, or they weren't getting pushed off too much at an exceptional offensive line. This was all done through the effort and talent of Omarion Hampton, who I'll remind you ran a 4.46 at the combine, stands 6 feet tall, has a frame of to the tune of, let's take a look here. It was 220 pounds. He was listed originally at 6'1". No, he's around 6 foot, maybe even just a tad under, but 220 pounds, big body running back that finds huge success on his own in all facets of how you play the position. And what I mean by that is Omarion Hampton, of course, with the 4.46 speed, he's got the speed to hit the outside. He's got the speed to play zone. He's got the speed to take it to the house and be that big play guy. But on top of that, he's got the hands to be a receiving threat. He's got the route running to be a receiving threat. He's got the chops to be a pretty dang good run blocker at the position too. And then on top of it all, where it maybe counts the most for the Chargers, he's also a heck of a power back. He can run between the tackles as anybody else in the league, man. He is insanely aggressive, tough as nails. And you take all that talent, you wrap it up into one player, and you tell yourself, how did everyone miss the immense potential of talent and hype that is Omarion Hampton? This was my guy. I declared it on this platform several times. We made his selection in the official mock draft. That was a huge deal on Bleacher Report in terms of collaboration with 31 other content creators. It was big, and at the end of the day, Omarion Hampton was the guy. And I could not believe he ended up being the selection. There's going to probably be a clip of me somewhere on Twitter by tonight of me flipping out when the Chargers selected the running back out of North Carolina. And it's because you will not believe the kind of impact Omarion Hampton is going to have even in his rookie year. That backfield is about to become bananas. Some people pushed back and saying, hey, we got Najee Harris now, RB1 of the Los Angeles Chargers. To that, I will say he's on a 1-year deal. He's going to form an insane 1-2 punch with Omarion Hampton now. And next season, when the torch is passed to Omarion Hampton, you're going to have one of the best workhorse backs in the NFL, likely complemented by a guy like Kamani Vidal or otherwise. It's a foolproof plan to the end game for the Los Angeles Chargers. And you guys know what the end game is? We're going to run the football. Big, drastic change to what the Chargers have been the last decade. In the Phillip Rivers days, Justin Herbert, the way this team was built was to pass the football at a high volume. We went out and we got talent at wide receiver, tight end. You neglected offensive line for a long time. Sorry, Phil. But we were a high-volume passing football team for a long time. To shift gears and say, hey, we're going to run the football. This is a Jim Harbaugh offense. This is a Greg Roman offense. It required a pretty substantial shift in a new direction. The way the line was built. Welcome Joe Alt. Welcome Mekhi Becton. Welcome Andre James. Power, 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 power. But you know what it also required? A radical shift at running back. Najee was a good start. I'm going to be honest with you guys. He wasn't a guy that was on my... he was on my radar, but I just felt like he's maybe going to be too expensive. There's probably going to be guys drafted for in the draft this season that would usurp that role anyway. But when we got him at a value on a 1-year deal, I was like, oh, that's absolutely not going to stop the Chargers from picking up a running back this year. And if anything, it's going to provide stability at the position. So that when the Chargers need to run the football, hey, here comes Najee Harris. Hey, here comes Omarion Hampton. Hey, the run game is never going to stop working in Los Angeles all of a sudden. You need a third down guy? Boom, Omarion Hampton. You need a guy that can catch the football? Boom, Omarion Hampton. You need a guy that can block? Boom, Omarion Hampton. You need a guy to get you those tough earned yards and those early downs? Boom, Najee Harris. You need to do that over and over and over again? Good luck to a defense that needs to stop that unit, man. This is going to help close out games tremendously. You think about how many games the Chargers lost by a slim margin, by a lack of milking the clock or working the clock. This duo is going to be insane in terms of bringing consistency to closing out games. You are going to find it very difficult to stop one, if not both, Omarion Hampton and Najee Harris late in games. This is an absurd duo to go into the season with. I'm over the moon, man. I'm absolutely over the moon. I cannot believe Omarion Hampton is going to be sporting powder blue September for your Los Angeles Chargers. This is as good of a result as I could have hoped for. It was shocking not to see, Will Johnson, who was still on the board, become selected. Of course, you're thinking of the Michigan connections. Jesse Minter would have loved to have him on the team, surely. But at the end of the day, I think the mantra was always going to be best player available. You guys ever see that movie Draft Day, where he holds that Post-it note at the end of the movie, and it said, I don't remember the name of the player, but it said, "This guy, no matter what." I guarantee you that Joe Ortiz was holding something similar that said BPA, no matter what. Yeah, it was actually pretty close with Will Johnson. I'm not going to lie. In terms of what I was projected, what I thought would be PPA, I think, Will Johnson was pretty up there. But Omarion Hampton, for me, he was like 14. Like, me personally, I felt like he was getting overshadowed so much, but not just by Janty, but by, the remaining class. The Ohio State guys are very good. Wherever they land, they're going to be a very big force. Trevian Henderson, Quinshon Judkins, excellent. Caleb Johnson, excellent. Cam Scatterbo, excellent. All excellent running backs. I think that took away from what Omarion Hampton was in this draft. He was caught between the best running back and all the value running backs. People lost sight of what is one of the best football players in this draft because of those two angles of Janty and value. This is one of the best pure football players the Chargers could have handed you on a silver platter. It is going to work. It is going to be a radical shift in the direction of a run-first offense. It is going to help Justin Herbert find consistency in the offense, bring a threat to the field that defenses need to respect, opening up opportunities for Justin Herbert and receivers alike to move the football down the way they know how to do it. But the consistency at running back is going to help them accomplish that, while also help accomplish the Chargers' ultimate goal of winning more football games and taking control of football games. This is as good of a result as we could have hoped for, man. I am absolutely floored, shocked, giddy is probably the right word to use here, that we ended up getting number 28 out of North Carolina, because this is going to be a radical shift in the direction of success for the Chargers. We needed to become that football team, that threat on the ground, and I promise you, teams are going to be looking at the Chargers a little bit different after today, because you can't just say, hey, we got Omarion Hampton. Guess who he's running behind? Joe Alt, Mekhi Becton, Andre James, Brian Johnson, Rashawn Slater. That line is absurd. You think about how much production Omarion Hampton produced at North Carolina with really very little help after the Drake May, era was over. And then you put him in a situation where, hey, man, now you got blockers. Now you got the man that helped Saquon Barkley to a 2K season blocking in front of you, next to Joe Alt, one of the freakiest right tackles in football. Think of the potential of Omarion Hampton running in a situation the Chargers hand-tailored for smashing success even in a rookie season. It's going to be a year. This is the formula. The Chargers defense, largely the reason for an 11-win season, a playoff berth. They needed help. The offense needed to find an identity, a footing, to get these guys up to par and become a legitimate playoff threat, because they fell on their face hard versus Houston because the offense stunk. Omarion Hampton is the kind of pick you can make to single-handedly change that narrative. Now the offense can carry its own weight. You add that to a defense that was a top-scoring defense in football last season. Does that not scream contender to you? It does to me. And I think Omarion Hampton, as good as all these other guys we've been signing, is going to be a big reason for that, even in his rookie year. Guys, I honestly, if I knew the number he was going to wear, I would be ordering my jersey right now to get Omarion Hampton, in the collection, on the streams. I am as excited about this pick as I was for Ladd McConkey last year. I was excited about Joe Alt, too. I'll say it. There's no Joe Alt hate on this channel. As a matter of fact, let me redeem myself here. Have to be a true Joe Alt appreciator and fan to sport 76. Any offensive lineman that gets a jersey has the respect of the wearer, and I'm a big Joe Alt guy. But I was also a huge, huge fan of Ladd McConkey last season. I was over the moon. I was in the same headspace as I am now of disbelief. I could not believe the Chargers made it happen. And the same thing happened this year. And it tells me that, consensus isn't always right, but I think it's more consistent than what we've seen as Chargers fans in previous years. Yeah, we've seen some picks that were, close to consensus, like Justin Herbert and Derwin James. Great picks for the Chargers. But lately, man, you see a good player on the board. Everyone sees it. Everyone knows it. And here's the Chargers. Yeah, BPA. We ain't dumb. We're not reaching. We're not drafting for need. I see a good player. I take a good player. We see success on the football field. And that's the situation that Joe Ortiz has created for himself in Los Angeles. The way he attacked free agency opened up the possibility to go take this player in the first round. And I couldn't be more proud, man. This feels like real change. This feels like a real move towards contention to the Super Bowl. It really does. Not just, Omarion Hampton individually. He's amazing, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to pay off. But how we're drafting, how we're building this roster, how we're operating as a club now all of a sudden, this football team is firing on all cylinders. Oh, my God. Wait till you guys see what's in store for Omarion Hampton, man. Rushing grade of 90.5, zone grade of 88.6, gap grade of 78.9, which is still awesome. Yards after contact at 4.35. Just insane production. All around. Omarion Hampton, he's going to be the next big thing at running back. Him and Ashton Jeanty are going to be the next big thing at running back, mark my words. Him and Ashton Jeanty are going to lead the charge to what is an awesome 2025 running back class. We don't need much anymore in terms of running back going forward, and that's going to open up what we can do in the second round. To quickly wrap up this episode, I wanted to tell you guys, for those of you who are really crossing your fingers for receiver, like Agbuka, who went a few picks before us, and Matthew Golden, who went behind us, I'm telling you right now, tomorrow is a great day to go pick up a wide receiver. Trey Harris, still on the board. Higgins, somewhere on this list, is still on the board. You got really Kyle Williams would be a great selection at some point, still on the board. Luther Burden, weirdly, still on the board. I mean, the Bleacher Report definitely got it right here, dude. Look at that. Second-round talent still available in the second round. Maybe not for long. But really flush with wide receiver talent all over the second and third round. I wouldn't be shocked if the Chargers decided to go tight end either at any point, too. I do love Arroyo. I do love a lot of these other guys. But my guys at the position of tight end for day 2 are very firmly Mason Taylor. I can't see. I'm trying to find him on the list here. Mason Taylor out of LSU, excuse me, and Harold Fannin, Bowling Green. Those guys, either one of them on the Chargers offense, especially now that we got a run game, Omarion Hampton, that would certainly bring a lot of fuego to the offense that would really make this team just such a threat. I'm sorry. I'm trying to come up with bigger words for it. I'm just like, dude, the Chargers have arrived. Watch out. Watch out, Chiefs. Watch out, Broncos. Watch out, Raiders. Like, yeah, everyone was all, oh, man, Raiders, and they got their guy, and Jackson Genty. Yeah, I'm pissed. I'm disappointed he went to the Raiders. But, man, to get Omarion Hampton is so cool. And it's going to make for a very fun season as a Los Angeles Chargers fan. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. This has been The Director. Hit us up with the follow here on Bleacher Report if you did enjoy this content. Get ready for tomorrow, man. I'll be live on my platform. Maybe we'll have more shows next week. Maybe even, who knows? We'll see when Bleacher Report calls me. We'll definitely wrap all of this up in a nice bow. Get your thoughts. But me personally could not have been more excited for who we chose in the first round. I'm so stoked to see what happens tomorrow and Saturday. We'll catch you guys next time. As always, bolt up, stay frosty.